Hello, Horrible Horror listeners. We are here at the Contamination, St. Louis's horror and sci-fi and pop culture convention. Sitting with us is a very special guest, Mr. Robert Mukes. Thank you very much for taking the time to sit down and do this little chit-chat with us. I know it's been a busy weekend for you, but thank you very much for taking your time to do this.
Absolutely, guys. Good morning to you, too.
All right, yeah. I think I can maybe try and do it a little better. Welcome, Horrible Horror listeners. Today we have the 6'10", 300-pound Robert Bonecrusher Mukes.
There you go.
Is that a little better?
That's better. You've done a little research there.
A little bit, yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Did a little bit of looking up, and really just...
I'll just delete my intro. That's fine. I can totally delete that. Do that in post.
I think they both work well together.
I think so, too. I kind of like that. So, yeah, we have Robert Mukes here with us today, and the majority of our listeners, of course, are going to know you from House of a Thousand Corpses. You played Rufus Jr., kind of the crazy cop, security guard, evil guy. You know, it was just... I haven't seen the movie in a while myself. It's been a couple years, and to be perfectly honest, Rob Zombie stuff, I feel like I gotta watch it and then go, and detox, because it's really, really, really intense horror. It's really intense stuff.
It's gritty in your face.
Yeah. So
there.
How was it working on the set of House of a Thousand Corpses?
House of a Thousand Corpses, man. That's a good question. It was actually phenomenal for me. It was my first movie. I had done a little television before that and commercials, but and it's all the same. A day of working is a day of working. Mm-hmm. You pretend to be the character and you play the role and you do a good job. But House of a Thousand Corpses, oh my God, that was a Universal Studios movie.
Yeah.
So that's a big time film.
Big
Man, yeah. I only had auditions there. And on the auditions, I would go through the other side of the studio, not the cool side where all the actors go. So it was so cool, man. I would, I had to check in with the security guy and whatever. I worked on it for 3.5 weeks, so after a couple of days, I started getting a little cocky. Hey, man, you know who I am. You know why you asked me? I'm the Rufus Jr. guy. So no, it was incredible, man. The stage direction, the budget, the art direction of it. Rob Zombie, super cool, vibey rock and roll star. It was just a fantastic experience, and there were so many levels of it being amazing for me. I had a chance to work with some legends. Karen Black, she phenomenal, Oscar nominee. Sid Haig, Bill Moseley, the Victims were even actually became popular after that as well.
Yeah.
So it was
Rainn
a very
Wilson is a big one. Yeah.
I believe Nerd God, Chris Hardwick, I think even was in that movie.
He's hanging around with The Walking Dead a little bit. Getting a little bit of that action too. So it was such an amazing time, man. I was so fortunate to get the break and work on that with Rob and everything.
Okay, so I know I did a little bit of research. I know you're from Indianapolis, Indiana, playing basketball. I mean, you're 6'10". You played it looks like you're athletic. You know how to use your body.
Thank you.
So a lot of people who are that tall, I've got some friends who are incredibly awkward, but it looks like you got a good athletic build. You got a scholarship playing basketball, so that kind of got you to L.A. And what exactly got you into films? I mean, obviously you have a great physical presence, and I'm guessing that kind of opened up some doors for you. But what is it something that you wanted to do, or was it something that just kind of came?
It wasn't. I never thought about it. Mm-hmm. I played basketball till I was 30. And my mother, bless her heart, she's a blue-collar woman. We were raised on a factory job like Firestone. Right. She worked for 35 years for those guys. Small town Indiana. We're from the city, but she drove out to Noblesville every day to work her job. So, my mother's like, you're not really making enough money. I played 5 years in Europe to retire from basketball. Yeah. You should probably think about filling out an application. I didn't do so great in college. I was a basketball guy, not necessarily a student athlete. I was more of an athlete. Pass me so I can play.
I got you.
So I'm like, Mom, it's going to be all right. I'll figure this out. I'm going to keep playing. And I'll start saving some money. I'm going to get a big contract. Practicing in L.A., playing in the L.A. summer leagues and everything. Yeah. A guy invited me to a commercial audition. He's like, bro, man, they're having auditions over here for whatever it was. And network commercial like McDonald's or whatever. And I'm like, bro, that's for Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. They were the stars in my era when I was 30. And he's like, no, as an actor. I'm like, because they want those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as an actor? What's that? I never even looked at television like these are actors. I just kind of made it real for myself.
Those are the people in that little box. Yeah.
And telling the story.
Yeah.
So I kind of blew it off, and about a week later, I saw this guy on a commercial that I could physically outplay. I found myself more attractive than him. And my girlfriend was prettier than him. Not that I judge how guys look, but my woman was hotter. So I'm like, shit, that should have been me probably.
I'm a better basketball player. I'm a better looking guy. Hold on, wait a minute, hold the phone.
How did that happen?
Yeah,
It was a Burger King commercial. So I saw my colleague that was training with him to play in this team that was a traveling team to play in Singapore. I'm like, bro, this dude, man, Steve, he's got a commercial. How did that happen? He's like, that's what I was telling you about, dumbass. I'm like, oh, okay. So a couple weeks later, he took me to a Nike audition, and I'm like, wow, man, thank you, bro. That was awesome. I mean, and I didn't get it. I was so green. But I started looking at television in a different way, and then he took me to meet his agent. His agent took a Polaroid of me, just that green.
Yeah.
I got a couple more auditions, and I booked my third audition as a basketball guy.
Yeah.
I was 30, so my face was starting to wrinkle up just a little bit, and I thought to myself, maybe, because my hair was growing long and I wasn't running as much at that point. It was like halfway into the next season. Maybe I should try for acting, try to be a big badass dude.
Yeah.
So I grew my hair long and kept lifting weights, and I'm like heavy, almost 90 pounds heavier than I was then.
Wow.
And I was a skinny basketball guy, and that's kind of how it happened.
Well, hey, I mean, it worked out great. Good thing that you saw that commercial.
Good thing I saw that commercial.
Think if you didn't see that commercial, you may,
listening to my mom, I'd have been back in Indiana.
Exactly.
That factory closed. I would have had to move to China to keep working for Firestone, and you guys wouldn't know me.
Yeah. Now, I know you did a lot of television shows as well. One thing, when we first showed up at the con, I'm looking at you, I'm like, I know him. What is he from? And it hit me later on, of course, afterwards. Weeds. You played the bounty hunter.
Bum Chuck.
Yeah, it's so that's where I recognize you from. My wife, however, when she came and saw you, and this is one that she asked me to ask you because she is a crazy huge fan of Veronica Mars.
That was a cool show.
And apparently you were in one episode of that, and I was having trouble placing you because, of course, I've seen all of them because she loves it. But it's a good show. I like it too. But I'm kind of curious, what were you in? Because we looked at all the IMDb, and it says one of two things. It says co-star or menacing figure or menacing man.
I was like a bodyguard. I didn't have a name. I had a little bit of dialogue, but I was a bodyguard for this chick that was doing bad, this pimp. Actually, she was a pimp. Madam, I guess that's called. And Veronica Mars wasn't appreciating that.
Okay, yeah.
And so I worked on it for 3 days, I believe, down in San Diego. It was an awesome experience. Weeds is an incredible, funny show.
I love that show.
Yeah,
that show was so.
I enjoyed that one.
My scene with Andy, I forgot his real name. Andy's the character.
I know the character.
He's awesome. He's very talented. He's a comedian. Comedy's kind of tough for me because I'm always like the big heel.
Right.
So, for example, a guy has a situation, he says, man, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to call Steve or whatever, da-da-da-da-da. There's a little bit of agitation there. I come in and see he's like, oh, my God, I'm sorry. You're my best friend now. Who's he? And I stay rough on him. So there's a scene on my third episode of Weeds where I'm kind of giving Andy a hard time, and he starts off with this this story telling me, and then so I give him more of a hard time, and his expressions were so funny. I'm wanting to laugh at him.
Right. You got to keep the straight face.
I got to stay tough on his ass, right? So talented. So sometimes that's the challenge for me with comedy because the guys are so funny that I'm supposed to be intimidating, and I want to laugh because they're just killing me. But I have to stay serious and shitty and stay in the moment of being agitated with this person.
Yeah, well, that's the tough thing about acting. I mean, I know I can't do it. I break a lot even in we're doing the podcast. I think there was a couple days ago where I was almost crying. I was laughing at a scene so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was our Dust Ball episode.
But just like you, it's like I've been in situations where I'm trying my best to try and keep my straight face, but it's just I can't do it. I can't even do that. I can't.
Right. It takes practice. It takes practice. I've been doing it for years.
With mine, but I started acting on stage when I was like 12 and and did in college, all that. And I did that too. We all just, you had the moment where we were just trying so hard not to
Great
break.
character, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And somebody just can't know. Like, luckily, with, at least with like movies and TV, you get cuts, or you get retake.
Yeah,
you can retake.
yeah.
When you break character on stage, it's really, really
really
bad. But
Theater is amazing. There's no cuts and there's no retakes. You got to kill
Yeah.
it for the audience, and that's it.
Have you thought about doing theater, or have you done theater?
In
or-
LA, theater's not as popular.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
not really financially rewarding there. It's awesome practice for acting, but
over in New York, I know it's a lot more prevalent over there.
Yeah,
but-
New York, Chicago are the big places
Right.
for theater.
I hate to say it and sell myself short, but there's this expression that goes, I want to be a movie star, not an actor. I'm kind of that guy. I went to college to play basketball, not to study.
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
but,
hey, you,
but I study. I have a coach and all that, and
Yeah.
whatever, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the art of acting. It's phenomenal. But yeah, I'm not really a theater type of guy. I'm so big, man. What role would I play? What show would I do?
again,
Yeah.
you'd be typecasted the big, intimidating guy. It's all the time. Yeah,
Man in
yeah.
Mice, or tell me
You'd
about
be
some
Lenny.
sort of-
You'd be
Lenny.
a great Lenny. Yeah, that'd be great. So now you're here at the con. Is there anything that's coming down the pipe that you've been working on, or anything you want to talk about? Anything that's coming?
Shameless
coming
plug
to you?
time.
Yeah.
Shameless plug
Shameless
time.
plug time. Shameless plug time. I'm very fortunate to have a good agent. So I often read for some incredible, not often, but I say once every 3 months I get, like I just read 2 months ago for The Rock is doing, Dwayne Johnson is going to be a lifeguard on Baywatch or whatever. So I read, I had a really good read, but unfortunately it was right after a big show, so I was a little exhausted, but I thought I gave it to him well. But sometimes I'm a little bit too big to be a drug dealer of running a hotel, a nightclub that's on the beach or whatever. So sometimes I think it just doesn't fit like that. But I tried my best. I got really lucky recently to work on Westworld. That's an HBO show, huge budget, and I've got a pretty good character on that, and I'm a robot, so I have a chance of
there you go.
it being a reoccurring role.
Westworld. Now, is that on HBO?
That's going to be an HBO show.
Okay, because I watch HBO pretty religiously. I love HBO programming. Huge fan of Game of Thrones, but as well as some of their other stuff.
Vinyl.
Vinyl is pretty good. I also watched Rome. I thought Rome was fantastic. Of course, I watched their weekly shows like Bill Maher. I mean, I watch a lot of stuff
You're
on
an
HBO.
HBO guy for sure.
Definitely, yeah. I'm an HBO guy, so I'm going to be looking forward to that.
There's a trailer on IMDb. It's pretty phenomenal. It's high budget. High budget.
Oh,
right
their
there with
budgets
Game
are
of
in
Thrones.
$10 million for each episode of Game of Thrones.
So
they have those kind of
they're
budgets.
Up there.
Yeah.
This is going to be up there with that. There's some celebrities that have won Oscars: Anthony Hopkins, Ed
Wow.
Harris. My scene is with Ed Harris, and it was just a phenomenal experience. I got 10 days on that show, but just one scene because it was so complex. But I'm very excited about that. And then I have this Party Monster coming out, and we've got some really good actors on that. That's lining up to be a Netflix pilot.
Okay, great.
And
Again,
actually,
Netflix.
that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I shot both of those projects in the same week.
Wow.
I had 2 weeklies in the same week. I had a 26-hour day.
Did you get so not a lot of sleep? I'm guessing.
I was exhausted, man. But both were challenging. You have a mental challenge. I was playing Frankenstein on Party Monsters, and then this behemoth and Westworld is more physical.
Yeah.
Both were very challenging, but I just thought to myself, I've been working out so long.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this opportunity so long. I get a weekly at the same time, one shooting at night, one shooting a day. I just have to go for it.
This is your shot.
And I killed it. Well, there's got to be shots all the time.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta,
But this is one of your big shots. One of the big ones.
It was a big
Yeah,
shot,
yeah.
and I killed it. I made it.
Well, that's awesome. That's
I nailed
awesome.
the victory.
And with the physicality of it sounds like you're doing a lot of physical stuff in these scenes as well. Is there any exercise routines that you do? I mean, you're a big muscular, so obviously you lift, but I mean, is there stretching, yoga, Pilates, anything that you're kind of into?
I've been kind of lazy with the stretching, and my back's a little tight right now, actually. And but I superset around the gym. I've had personal trainers. I live in LA. I live in California, so fortunately, I can do the weather. I can work outside according to the weather and the ocean. So I'm fortunate enough I like to work out on the beach.
Yeah.
So I like slow jog, power walk the sand for 4 or 5 miles.
Definitely.
There's
yeah.
a bike path that
Sure.
goes along the ocean that's 50 miles long.
Wow.
So I like to jump on that sucker and press my cannon down up that bike path for 25 miles.
Yeah.
There's some Santa Monica stairs in California that are like 190 steps high, and that's a beautiful workout too.
So yeah, you got the luxury of being in LA and having a beautiful
It's
scenery.
so awesome.
Here,
And
it's not. It's deathly hot in the summer, deathly cold in the winter, and then you have these little pockets of spring and fall where you can kind of get out and enjoy.
You get like 2 weeks of fall, 2
Yeah.
weeks of spring, and then it's just either blazing hot or freezing.
But you guys early in the morning, in the summer, you can get it done, and then
Yeah.
I guess maybe at noon, if you wear the thermo stuff or whatever, you can squeeze
Yeah.
some jogging
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
I mean, you just work around it if you really want to work
And it's
out.
well, that's funny because my wife and I are starting to do that. Waking up at 6 in the morning and we're going to the park. We're doing it more and more. But
Get it going.
It's as soon as it starts getting around 8, 9 o'clock.
Starts heating up.
Forget it. I'm already at work by that time anyway.
As we age, we definitely have to move our body to
Yeah.
stay healthy.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
funny because I was talking with some younger people and enjoying a couple of drinks. I'm like, okay, I got to work out again tomorrow. They're like, what are you
Exactly.
talking about? It's like
I'm outta here.
if I don't work out, if I don't get moving, it just adds on. So
Quick.
Yeah, real
I'm
quick.
10 pounds heavy right now. I typically, when I'm in beast mode, I work out twice a day, and I haven't been there for a few months. And I've been nibbling on sugar for a few
Yeah.
months, carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And I've got 10 pounds on my stomach right
Just
now.
comes back that quick.
It's so fast, man.
Yeah.
2 months, it's there.
Yeah. All right.
So-
So again, what's the most recent thing you're working on? Was the
I
HBO
got
show?
the HBO show,
Yeah, when
Westworld.
do they come out? Like, when will they be
the
released?
Westworld, they're doing advertisement. They're saying this fall.
Okay.
Excellent.
So it's horror sci-fi, which is going to be phenomenal. Hopefully it'll
Yeah.
upgrade my status with the horror convention scene.
Most definitely.
And then the comedy, this sitcom, it's not a sitcom, we don't have an audience, but this comedy for Netflix is so beautifully wrote, and the location is awesome, and the very, very talented cast. So I'm very excited about that too. So that'd be good. But all my stuff is on my website. I've got a www.robertmukes.com going on.
Okay.
And it's always updated with my appearance schedule with this business of convention scene. And then there's links to IMDb and my Facebook page and my Flickr account and all that stuff. So
Great.
it's really nice, clean, and simple, robertmukes.com. And if you want to know what's going on with me, I'm right there.
All right, so you heard it, folks. Check it
Yeah.
out, robertmukes.com. And again, thank you so much for sitting down with us and
Exactly.
talking to
It's
us.
such a pleasure meeting you guys.
Oh, thank you
so
thank you.
much.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right.